Hey, what's up everybody? You can definitely tell spring is in the air. Short sleeve shirts, the weather's warm, it's high 70s out here today, but you can tell the wind's blowing pretty good, so I just took the day off, try to get stuff ready for the next trip. But even this time of the year, you still have to deal with cold fronts, and that's what we had on this video coming up. We filmed this one a couple days ago, but the weather was like this beforehand. It was high 70s, 80s, it was warm at night, in the mid 60s for probably about a week straight. It'd been up and down like that for a couple of weeks, but prior to this tournament, to this day on the water, we had rained all the day before. A front came in, 45, 46 degrees in the morning was the air temperature, and the wind blew probably 10 miles an hour that day. And you could tell the day it started out, I had on blue jeans and just a hoodie with Under Armour, but it didn't take long. We had to put some bibs on because the wind was pretty cold. The water temp didn't change that much. It was still 63 degrees when we got there, but you'll see how we dealt with this, dealing with the cold front conditions. I'll come back in a few minutes later and give you an idea of what we were doing and what we were looking for. But anyway, check this out. I think I got another little nibble right there. Not that time.
Third time the charm.
Yeah, no doubt.
That one.
Dang, fish stop, flop. I picked up and it started swimming out that time. There's got to be a bed right there. Look at that big old fat fish right there. This dude weighs. Got a bite.
Fish is blind in one eye.
Get a bite.
A little twigger. Twig.
Hey, I didn't hook good. He's blind in one eye. Y'all can see that. Had to be a perfect cast because I had to throw right on the side he could see on.
Tree.
Couldn't catch up with him. He was off that tree a little bit. He might have come off that tree and got it.
Right.
You know, that big, but it was fun. I didn't quite get it close enough, but I don't think it ever went to the bottom.
Right.
He went through it, but he stayed up on, you know, they wasn't fishing the isolated stuff. Look at you.
That's cool fun.
Yeah, it is. Close to it anyway. We'll weigh him too, see what he weighs. Walk up here and show everybody what.
pulley. Not a bad one. Fish line with my coat.
You got their heads turned.
Right there. I guess time flies whether you're having fun or not.
I guess it does. That's one of your fish in the pocket trees right there, buddy.
Look there. I freaking caught me a fish. Damn, he wasn't getting off. Gone. Too down deep pocket. How big that one is. Let's see.
Yeah, I can't help myself. There he is. Yes, sir. That's a big one.
Is it?
Yep. Jerk my net in half.
But he's in the boat.
Oh, I can't help myself. I told you. It's gonna be just like Toledo.
My coat on the boat.
One, folks.
Okay, so we had fished here probably about a week before and caught some pretty good fish. We kind of had an idea of what they were doing as far as where they were at in the spawning season and the time of the year that it is. The weekend before, the days before the earlier trip we made, we actually caught some pretty good fish on a vibrating jig. I'll give a description of the type and all that. This particular one's a Picasso. It works pretty good if you've never tried it. But in the description of the video, I'll give you a rundown, a breakdown of the rods, line, baits that we used. But we were catching those fish along the old bank line. It's like the fish were staging up, getting ready to move up. And even then, we didn't get bit that good in the morning, but once lunch came along, the water temperature came up some, those fish started moving up. So we went back this weekend trying to do the same thing, and it didn't pay off as far as the vibrating jig on the bank. The bites that we did get on the bank came off cypress trees, and we caught them flipping and pitching some type of plastic. This is a Reaction Innovations Beaver here, sweet Beaver. But like I said, I'll give you a breakdown on some of that in the description too. I think the problem was along the bank, the water was up high. I think the lake's about 4 or 5 feet high. I think the majority of the fish had gotten back in so far that we couldn't get to them. The other thing we were, as you noticed, is the little buckbrush islands we were fishing. The ones that paid off the best were actually in the shallower water. They'd be 3 to 5 feet deep off the main island, but the islands themselves wouldn't be but like a foot, foot and a half high, little high spots all on the flat. In the morning, I think those fish had pulled off because of the front and were sitting off the edge of the islands, and that's when we used the vibrating jig on it and picked up some pretty good fish. As the same thing this weekend when the water warmed up, temperature warmed up. Those fish that were holding out actually moved up on the buckbrush islands themselves, and that's where we caught the majority of ours flipping and pitching. And I know a lot of those fish were on the beds. So, but anyway, that's what we were keying on, and that's what paid off.
This freaking P-Line got in front of us, didn't it?
Yeah. How that feel?
Felt pretty good.
Pretty dang good.
Pretty dang good. That's how that felt. Took me 30 minutes to get everything rigged up, and that sucker was not coming off. He ain't big, but it's wide.
That one? Yeah, I got that one too.
Load it up. Here, buddy. Let's see what this one weighs.
That one?
Swallowed it too. Not all that big, but had a little move, get a bite.
Yeah, I will.
I didn't realize it was quite that big. Come on, fish. Stay pegged up. Just stay pegged up.
Damn, I can't hardly lift him up. Yes.
We got more weight than we had last weekend already.
Alright,
My hat straight and everything.
that's straight. One more.
Alright, fish.
That's a pretty fish though.
There you go, baby. Thank you.
Color, maybe. Isn't it?
Gotcha. That bad?
No. Alright.